Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Colin's Corner, episode number 10. I'm recording this right before I go to bed. I'm a little tired, but inspiration hits at any moment, and I love that. So please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Please comment any video ideas down below, and I will catch you in the video. You gotta find what works for you. And that's what this video is all about. You have to find what works for you. And if you're watching this, and I've seen my demographic, my YouTube gives me my analytics, it's mostly young people, people from like 18 years old to like 30 years old. So, fairly young people. Definitely young people. If you're like 18, you're watching this, 25, you're watching this, you're a young person. And it's easy for us to get ahead of ourselves. It's easy for us to sit here and say to ourselves that we don't have any time, because the world puts so much pressure on so many people at such a young age. But we have way more time than we think. There are people that at 50 years old are just figuring out what they really want to do with their life and are starting a business or, going into some venture or finally going after that thing they wanted, finally learning a new skill and applying that skill. That's what's important, There will be a million people trying to pull you and push you in a million different ways. Coming out of high school, let's just go back my entire school career. I was never a good student. I would do anything to not do work. This goes back all the way to like elementary school, middle school, into high school. I was never a good student. School just never fit me. It was too confining. It was too, sit down and do this in a specific way, and there's no creativity. Even in a private school, I went to a private school. It's supposed to be better education. The only thing I really learned about that gave me a better education than public school was God. That's really the only thing. And yeah, I had better teachers, and it was more of a community setting, and I loved that. And that was probably served me better than going to a public school where public schools are increasingly getting bad. They're getting very bad, but I did love that sense of community, but I didn't really learn anything from school. I was never a great student. I was too creative-minded for that. I was too artistic for that. I was too, articulate and everything. I wasn't very good at school at all. Am I a smart person? I like to think so. Some other people tell me I'm smart. Whether I am actually smart or not, I think that's irrelevant because I'm good at what I love doing. And I think that's what's important. And that's what you have to go after. You have to go after what you love doing. So I wasn't a great student in school, and I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. I wasn't a great student in school, and at the end of high school, I was like, where am I going? What am I doing? I have no clue. I talked to my dad. We had conversations, what do I do? Do I just work and go after creating stuff for people, or do I, work, create stuff for people and do school, or do I just do school, or what do I do? We had those conversations, and they were, they were good conversations, but my heart wasn't in school. I went to the community college for a semester, I think it was, the fall semester of 2022, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I went there for business. That was my major. I didn't like it at all. Again, it was school. It was sitting in these rows in a classroom with somebody telling you, what to do and how to answer this, and there's a way to do this and a way to do that, and there's instructions. To me, life isn't about there's instructions. I get it. There's structure to things. I get it that there are rules. But, Alan Watts had a quote that I'll put it up on the screen. I forget exactly what it was, but it was something along the lines of, we take things way too seriously. We have to realize that instead of work, it's play. We have to realize that, hey, we're just kind of floating around here. No one really knows why we're here. So we should just figure out what we love doing and just kind of do that, it's not, don't take anything too seriously, It was way too, there wasn't enough flexibility or fluctuation, I get it, it's math class, but Is there a better way to do it than just putting numbers on a presentation and explaining to me, like, this is how you do this is how you do that? It's a formulation, an equation, it's this, it's that. I mean, that, like, my brain is not a computer. I'm not a computer. I am a being of light, and I should be treated as such. That's the way I feel about it. So I went there, and then I was like, no, this still is not for me. Way too creative for that shit. And now I'm doing this, and I mean, I really enjoy doing it. Am I good at doing it? Yeah. Am I good at doing it consistently? I'm getting better, and believe it or not, I'm much better than I was. It's about growth. But here's the thing. I'm 20 years old. This is what I'm doing now. What am I going to be doing in a year? I have no clue. I assume this, but you have no clue what opportunities come up. So the point being, in all that I've said, and I've probably been talking for 7 minutes. If I have, that's great. I can tell time. But you have to find what works for you. And what works for you might not come immediately. So when you're coming out of high school, if you're in high school right now, or you just got out of high school, or you remember your high school days, the world puts immense pressure on young people to figure stuff out right now, to figure out the future, where they're going to college, what they're doing with their life after, high school, what they're doing with this, what they're doing with that, blah, 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 blah. Everyone has an opinion on what you should do with your life and when you should do it. And, oh, well, this worked for me. Well, my wife did this, and this guy went here, and, well, historically, this works for them, and this percentage of people are doing this, and this percentage of, and it's all bullshit, to be quite honest. Like, what do you want to do? What is your gut telling you? What are you good at? If you're not good at school, and that's something that really, like, can't be taught. There's the thing, some things you're just good at, and some things, as hard as you try, you're just not that great at them. School, you might be really good at it. Maybe you're not. And that's okay. School will always be an option, but if you have a thing that you want to go after, then go after it. Why not? Why would you not go after something? Why would you not try? But you're sitting here at 20, 19, 18, 17 years old. You're listening to this video. You might be 30 years old. And you're like, what am I doing? Why have I been following everyone else's view of what I should be doing? If you have a thing that you're really good at, if you have a thing, a passion, if you have a gift that God calls you to share that gift with the world, to use that gift for good. If you sit there and you have a gift of playing guitar, but you do everything except playing guitar, and you're really good at it. Say you're the best you're the best on the block as far as it goes as playing guitar, and you're really good at playing guitar. And you own a guitar, and you're really good at it, but you don't do it. You know that you could be a rock star. You could start a band, or you could go solo, and you have this talent. You have this amazing ability. And you don't share that amazing ability with the world. You're basically living a lie. And that's a big accusation. But if you have something that you are really good at, if you have something that is just an amazing gift, you have that thing. To not share that with the world, to not use that to spread light and spread positivity and spread love, that's a really dark thing. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not as dark as I'm making it out to be, but it's something that you need to do. God calls us, hey, you have a gift. I have a gift of talking and speaking well, or you have a gift of, writing, or you have a gift of painting or singing, or, whatever it is, you have physical talents. Use those things. All of us are so unique in so many ways, but we let the world determine how our life is going to be lived, what it is going to be lived like. If you spend your entire life listening to everyone else, you're living different versions of everyone else's life around you. You're not living the version of your life that you actually want to live, that you would live, that you could live, that you should live, but you don't because you're way too worried about other people's opinions and what other people think you should be doing. You're 20 years old. School will always be there. But sharing your gift with the world, you use it or you lose it. You know? You use it or you lose it because you sit here and you don't do it. You can't get better at it. You can't cultivate. You can't grow and learn in doing that thing. I can't get better at speaking if I just sit around and don't speak all day. You can't get better at, playing basketball if you sit around and don't play basketball. You can't get better at singing if you sit there and your vocal cords, they shrivel up. You can't do that. The opportunity eventually will pass. You have way more time than you think. Gary Vee talks about this all the time. There are people, again, that figure shit out at 45 years old. And at 45 years old, you're young. And at 60 years old, you're young. People find different passions. People find different things. But you have to find what works for you. What works for other people, what other people think works for you, you have to forget that. You have to throw all that out the window. You have no clue what you could be doing and the ultimate, success could be, how much you could attain if you just followed that passion and followed that natural God-given gift that you have. David Goggins said this, or maybe it was Jocko Willink, and I talked about this on a recent podcast I did that's coming out soon. He said that when I get to heaven, and I'll leave you guys with this, he said, when I get to heaven, God would look at me, and he would say, here's what you are. Here's all the things you accomplish. Here's the person that you are. And here's the list of things, the list of achievements, the list of all the amazing things that you could have been had you followed your dream, had you taken that chance, had you made that move, had you had that conversation, had you, taken a chance on yourself in all those different ways. I never want to be a question mark. I don't want anything in my life to be a question mark. What if? My life is not a what if. My life is my life. My life is the life that God has given me, and I will use that life to the best of my ability. But my life will never be what if. And your life shouldn't be what if either. Because when you get to heaven, you don't want God to say, look what you could have been. You want God to say, look what you were. And you are an amazing being of light, and you need to be that being of light for not only yourself, but for the world. Find what works for you and go live your life, man. All right. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like, comment, do all that stuff. We got some great stuff coming on the way. New uploads Monday and Friday for Colin'S Corner, and then Wednesdays will be the Collective Consciousness Show. That will be moving forward. I'm very excited for all this. We have some great stuff coming. As always, I say that like every video, but that's because we have some great stuff coming. So thank you for watching. Again, subscribe, like, comment, and I will catch you guys on the next corner.